Have you ever seen the videos where people make some really interesting things out of cardboard? Wow, there are a lot of creative people in the world. And I figured, you know what, I'm kind of creative too, so I thought it would be fun to see what I could make using cardboard. And I came up with a project that is actually pretty easy to make. Yep, this is cardboard. I made this Carpenter tote, I guess that's what you would call it, using cardboard. Isn't it beautiful? And it's pretty sturdy too. I figure we all have cardboard, so why not put it to good use? So instead of me sitting here talking about the project, how about I show you how I made it?
It all just goes away. The things I plan to say, oh baby.
All right, so first we're gonna need some cardboard, and I just happen to have a lot of cardboard pieces, and this is what is going to make my Carpenter tote. I've already cut out 2 of the side pieces. That's what these are right here. And I'm just kind of playing around with the different cardboard pieces that I have to make the tote the size that I want it to be. I like that one pretty good. And that works pretty well for the sides too. So before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm going to make sure and write on each piece what they are. Now I know the sides, it's pretty self-explanatory. And the cardboard on its own, one piece is not thick enough. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out some more pieces for right now, the sides, so that I can make these side pieces thicker. And I'm actually going to make all of the pieces thicker by putting layers of cardboard together. So again, this is the side, and my knife is being a little challenging. Now, if you had thicker cardboard, you wouldn't necessarily need to make multiple pieces in order to stack on top of each other. But for the cardboard that I had to do several layers of each of the pieces for my tote. So I'm just gonna cut them out. And hopefully you can tell underneath the cardboard, I have a cutting mat. So that way I'm protecting the surface of what I'm cutting on, because it does take a little bit of pressure to cut out this cardboard. And I really don't want to cut up my table. So a cutting mat is a very good investment if you're going to be doing lots of cardboard crafts. There's a side piece. And I just duplicated this process for the sides as well as the tall sides. And now you can see why it's important to have each of the pieces labeled. And don't worry, you're not going to be seeing that on the finished product, but it will help you so you know which piece is which. So here I'm cutting out another piece of cardboard to layer on the bottom. And sometimes you don't need a box cutter. Sometimes a serrated knife will work just as well. And then I'm just going to play around and see what I think of the different pieces that I have. And once I'm happy with how thick the cardboard is going to be, then I just use some craft glue, which I got this craft glue in a Michael's grab bag a while ago. I think I got 4 bottles of the craft glue and it works perfect for this project. So I just secured the cardboard pieces together, and then I just worked my way around the tote by making each of the cardboard sections thicker. And this is one of the sides, and then the other side. And I just speeded it up just so you can see the whole process. I don't think you need to see it all in real time, but just creating almost like boards out of cardboard for my Carpenter's tote. And on the tall side pieces, I did end up using 4 pieces of cardboard to make it the thickness I wanted it to be. All right, now this is the fun part. Now we're going to assemble our tote. Little headshot. And I just used my glue gun to secure one of the tall sides to the bottom of the tote. And then using a side piece, I measured how high I needed the glue to be, and then I attached it. And once I had the 3 pieces together, it was much easier to put on the other end piece. And then the final long side piece. Now, while the cardboard works great, you can still see that corrugated center of each of the cardboard pieces. So I took masking tape and I covered up the edges where you can see that corrugated inside of each of the sides of the tote. And this will help to give it a more finished appearance so you won't be able to tell that it's cardboard. And on the long, tall side pieces, when I was securing the tape down, I did make little cuts so that there aren't any wrinkles of the tape, like right there. And then that makes it easier to fold over, and it looks like it's one seamless piece. Now I did have to use a piece of wood for the handle because I didn't have any round cardboard. So I had this piece of wood. I don't even know what it came from. And I cut it down to size, and then I just attached it using hot glue to the top of the tote. And there is my Carpenter's tote out of cardboard. And I wasn't quite sure how I wanted this to be as far as like the paint, what color I wanted it to be. I wanted it to look old and weathered. So I decided to start with some chalk paint because I have a lot of chalk paint, as you can see in this big container of paint. So I figured I might as well use it. And I painted the entire tote with the chalk paint. And the chalk paint is nice because it gives it almost like a primer coat to get started with, and then I could determine what else I would need to do to actually make this look like wood. So I wasn't quite happy with how that looked. It still looks like cardboard. So I decided to add some brown paint because I do want it to look like wood. So I just kind of painted the entire thing with some regular acrylic brown paint, but I still wasn't happy with the look. So I took some spackle and I added some water, and then using just a cheap brush, I basically made a paste that I could put all over the tote. Now with the spackle paste, I guess I just made a new thing, but with the spackle that's thinned out like this, it does add a little bit of texture. So my goal was to make everything look like it's solid in one piece, and little imperfections is okay because I want it to look old, I want it to look rustic, and the texture of this spackle paste really helped me to achieve the look that I was going for. Now you could make this a really thick spackle, and that way you won't see any of the little lines and creases of the cardboard. But for me, this seemed to work pretty well just doing the one coat of the spackle paste that I made. And then I painted it brown again and added a little bit of depth with some darker brown. And then I went back to the chalk paint to really make it look distressed. And this is totally the look that I was going for. And that's what's so much fun about creating projects like this and using paint, because even if it's not perfect the first time, you can just keep playing around and eventually you will get the look that you want. Obviously, there is no right or wrong way how to do this because as I just showed you, I painted this thing multiple times. And in the end, I am so happy with how this looks. It looks like wood. This is the end result. This is my awesome Carpenter's tote that I made from cardboard. This is probably one of the most affordable projects I've ever made, and I can find lots of uses for this tote in my decorating.
I think I'm going to have to put my creative thinking cap on and come up with some more creative ways to use cardboard, because this thing was really fun to make. And like I said in the beginning, I have a lot of cardboard, so why not use it?